Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Coronet Peak, Queenstown, New Zealand. I am your race commentator, Matt Garker, and we are here today for the second run of the New Zealand Cup races, the women's giant slalom. They go first, and then it will be over to the men. And this is our second run start list. 14 women will contest this second run. Wen Yi Li of Chinese Taipei will get the ball rolling in the second run. Mackenzie and Pratt will go early for New Zealand. Then the only Australian in the second run is Lara Kelly, 16-year-old. Isabella Watterson also flying the flag on home snow. Great to see Belgium in the second run with Louise Luvagi looking to score her first ever New Zealand Cup points here today. Esme Roberts and Josie Sarchit in the second run for Team USA. France are here too with Viola Lede. And then into the top five from the first run. Alaska Speedy and Ruby Fullerton will be the last couple of Kiwis to race in run two. Third position from the first run this morning with 2.45 seconds to make up on the first run. German Romy Ertl lined up to take another New Zealand Cup podium. And the closest to our first run leader was Austria's Sophia Waldorf, as you can see there. Skied into second position from bib 5, 1.81 seconds behind Alice Robinson this morning, though. So a bit of catching up to do. The 23-year-old took the national championship title on Tuesday, took a New Zealand Cup giant slalom win on Wednesday, and looks to go back-to-back here on Saturday. Well, once the start had been pushed back and we were ready to rumble in the first run, conditions were beautiful. Have changed ever so slightly. It does look a little cloudier. But as far as I am aware, we are ready to rumble in just over 5 minutes' time with the start of this second run. Half an hour behind the original schedule. The sun is still shining. You'll be able to see it just peeking out behind those clouds now. Firm snow underfoot. Pretty icy conditions. We have got another New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom coming your way tomorrow. Same time, same place. I'll be here with you across the Queenstown Alpine Ski Team YouTube channel, all being well. Conditions, that is. And any technical issues we may encounter like we did this morning. But 14 athletes in this second run. We should chop through them pretty rapidly, in all honesty. We only had 22 starters from 9 different national ski associations this morning, and even less in the second run, as Alice Robinson looks to take 3 consecutive New Zealand Cup giant slalom wins. She took the only New Zealand Cup giant slalom we had last season, man or woman. Awful conditions treated us in 2024, where we got just one of 4 scheduled GSs off. She beat Romy Ertl and Madison Hoffman that day. Hoffman, the Australian, isn't competing here today. She hasn't lost a New Zealand Cup giant slalom for 2 years, and it doesn't look like that is going to change this afternoon, barring any drastic mistakes from the 23-year-old World Championship silver medalist. We will also have 3 forerunners to make sure this course is all good. The second run course set put together by Hugh Brooks of the American team. He, together with Clement Thomas Michel, are leading the men's US World Cup giant slalom team this year. working with the likes of River Radamus, who'll be the third forerunner of the men's competition a little later, as well as Patrick Kenny and Bridger Guile, who both DNF'd in the first run this morning, unfortunately. So Brooks will be likely setting with Isaiah Nelson in mind. He sits 11th from the first run from the men's competition. But for now, our full attention is with the women's second, where it looks pretty set that Robinson will be the victor once again today. We will have to wait and see. Nothing is conclusive just yet. Getting news now that course clearance is complete. 3 forerunners as usual, and our first forerunner is in fact in the gate. I'm glad to report. No messing around today. We had a bit of a delay for the National Championship Giant Slalom on Tuesday, and our first forerunner is now on course. Confirmation in the top left-hand corner of your screen from the news. Pass through from me as well, and our first women's forerunner is Allegra Smith, and she's just come into picture now. Beautiful arc and steer of the turning ski from the young New Zealander. All 3 of the female forerunners are New Zealand and are just about too young to be competing here today. You have to be turning 16 within the next 12 months to be racing at the FIS level, or the FIS level, Federation of International Ski. So this is Allegra Smith maintaining that tuck position, turning nicely. Maybe it looks like Hugh Brooks's course is slightly easier than the one that Niels Kohlberger put together this morning. And Allegra Smith first forerunner into the finish. Excellent. There weren't any obvious problems there for Smith, which is all good news. And it looks like forerunner B, and that is Abby on her way pretty promptly. There she is, Abigail Wiggins, coming into view. That's neat. Nice control. Jump down to our second camera now, where Wiggins comes into view. She's related to Charlotte Wiggins. Unfortunately, Charlotte did not finish the first run and will not be competing here in the second, so Abigail can't give her sister any tips on how to best attack this second run. I think Abigail may have missed one of the gates, but still comes through. And look at that picture on our finishing camera. The mountain tops of the Queenstown region in full view. Some of the best pictures we have seen from this week in Coronet Peak. Final forerunner is on course. Henry Billett, also of New Zealand. Be a different forerunners for the men's competition a little later. And with the women's getting underway in the next few minutes when Henry Billett comes through cleanly. So the 11:45 scheduled start, New Zealand time, of this first run may just be missed, but that should mean that our men's competition gets underway from just after 12:15 p.m. local time in New Zealand. As Henry Billett, smooth sailing from him, he's into the finish. That is all 3 forerunners home and dry. And now we should be ready to kick off this second run. Well, I am your race commentator, Matt Garker, co-host of the Skiing is Believing podcast, and it is my pleasure to have your company this Saturday lunchtime for the second run of the Women's New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom event here from Coronet Peak, Queenstown, New Zealand. Wen Yi Li of Chinese Taipei will be our first racer, 14th position from the first run. She's just being held in the start for a moment while the blue dye is getting laid, the blue dye that outlines the course here is a useful visual guide for the racers and for us watching. So there is just a little bit of a wait for Lee at the very moment, but it won't be too long. I can't imagine. Great to see countries like Chinese Taipei in action. It really shows the strength of these races in New Zealand that we can welcome so many different national ski associations and so many different athletes that each bring and represent their own fantastic. We are nearly ready for takeoff. Course has been slipped and set by Hugh Brooks, one of the male American coaches. Niels Kohlberger's course this morning caught out so many of the racers. Let's see if that is the case again in the second run. Number 16, Wen Yi Li in the start. And we are ready to rumble. 14th position from the first run for the 22-year-old who has started 4 World Championship races already. And she's going to the Olympics next February, where the women will race in Cortina d'Ampezzo, one of the premier Italian resorts. She comes into the view now. A little bit of a skid there. Major upper body adjustment. Irons out that turn now. And Lee well on her way. She was 17th Wednesday, managed 12th in national championships on Tuesday, and bright sunshine greets the bottom third of the hurdle in this second run as Lee moves through the gears. Coming in towards the closeout now. She can say at the very least, top 14. She will lead momentarily here in Coronet Peak. 2:06.8, the combined total time to beat as we move to the first New Zealander in the second run. That is Paloma Mackenzie on course now. 1.6 seconds faster than Lee this morning. Mackenzie came through with Wanaka Snow Sports. She was some 33 seconds behind Alice Robinson on Wednesday in the other New Zealand Cup Giants. This is the second of 3 with another one coming for you tomorrow. Sunday morning action. Paloma Mackenzie looking for the early lead here. Through she comes, top position. Has the lead by over 3 seconds from Wen Yi Li. And now on course is another Kiwi in Chloe Pratt. She went just over 2.5 seconds faster than Mackenzie, the new leader, this morning. And Chloe Pratt, confirmation of a DNF. Oh dear. So Mackenzie will hold her lead and move up as position, as will Lee. Lara Kelly now on her way. She was 3.21 seconds quicker than Mackenzie in the first run. And Kelly, 16 years old, one of 3 Australians that started this morning, but the only one here in the second run this afternoon, or as we head towards the afternoon. just after 10 to 12 local time, just a few minutes behind schedule. As Lara Kelly looks for the lead, it could be a big margin that the Aussie takes it here. Oh, it is. 6.21 seconds ahead of Paloma McKenzie. That could be difficult for Isabella Watterson to match or beat. And she is now on course. 16-year-old from Wanaka is the new New Zealand national slalom champion. 0.56 of a second faster than our new leader Kelly this morning. 7th in the national championship GS was a superb ski to take that title. Sorry, the national title coming in GS, not slalom. My sincere apologies. And Isabella Watterson has it, and has it by 1.4 seconds ahead. So new leader in Queenstown, Isabella Watterson. She was just 0.04 of a second faster than Louise Luvagi this morning of Belgium. But if this is a smooth and error-free run from Luvagi, there's nothing saying that the 18-year-old won't take the lead from our freshest New Zealand leader. Now, can Luvagi find the speed in the closeout, which might bring top position? Oh, 0.72 off the pace. Second position for Belgium. Watterson holds the lead momentarily. Now it's Esme Roberts. 8th position from the first run. She comes from Team Palisades Tahoe in California, USA. Had a great day on Monday in the National Championship Slalom here with an 8th place finish. Esme Roberts, just 1500ths faster than Watterson in run 1. Carried over by Esme Roberts. Here she goes for the line. Second position. 0.23 off the pace. Watterson has seen off 2 at the top of the table. Now let's move on to Josie Sarchit. She went 1.64 seconds faster than last run. Sarchit, just like her brother, came out of the Sun Valley Ski Education Foundation. Ryder, who was a World Junior Giant Slalom champion in 2024. And Sarchit looks strong with that tuck position, carrying speed, looks good for the lead, and has it by 1.63 seconds. Change of leadership here. America top of the table with Josie Sarchit. Now it's Violet Lede. 6th position for the first run for the 16-year-old of the Club de Sport La Tussière. Always like to give the clubs that these races come out the shout out that they 100% deserve. Sarchit and Lede this morning as France look to take this second run advantage from the United States. 1:54.52, the new time to beat, and Lede is there by a second and a half exactly. That was superb. Let's move to Alaska Speedy, who was 5th fastest on the hurdle this morning and carries 0.44 of a second over our new leader Violet Lede, as News the lead on home snow with just 4 to come after Speedy. She was 3rd in the National Championship GS, and in terms of New Zealanders, was only 2nd to Alice Robinson, who's looking to win here again today. 1:53.02, the new combined total time to beat, which Speedy has smashed. 0.93 on Lede. As we come down to the final 4, this is Ruby Fullerton, 1200ths faster than Speedy this morning. The 19-year-old was 8th on Wednesday. If she comes through to the finish, she will confirm a top 4 finish on Saturday. Let's see. This is going to be nip and tuck now. Which of the New Zealanders will come into the leadership position? Will it be Fullerton or can Speedy hang on? Fullerton is 2nd, 7/10 off the pace. So there'll be 2 New Zealanders at the very least in the top 5. Third from the first run. Ertl goes down. Oh no. She's lost a ski there as well. That's devastating for the 18-year-old. And it does mean that Alaska Speedy, 7/10 faster than Fullerton with a combined total time, confirms herself at 16 years old, her first New Zealand Cup podium. Devastated for Romy Ertl. She was second here to Alice Robinson in the New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom last year. But a second run heavy-hitting DNF has cost Ertl the chance to go in back-to-back years on back-to-back podiums in Coronet Peak. Oh, I'm gutted for Ertl. She's one I've had my eye on for a few years. She's made that breakthrough last season on the Europa Cup, the European Continental Cup circuit, with top 20 results in giant slalom. She was a Youth Olympic Alpine combined bronze medalist in January of 2024 too. Slalom race on Monday, but has suffered 2 DNFs in the second runs of the New Zealand Cup races we've had here that have cost her almost certain podium finishes. We do have 2 more races. The top 2 from the first run to ski of Austria will be the first of those, as you can see on the screen, out of the ski club of Hochpustertal. On the Rossignol skis, we'll just wait for the call of bib 5. In fact, now Sophia Waldau is on course, 3.71 seconds quicker than Alaska Speedy this morning. If Waldau comes through to the finish here, she's surely got the lead and surely got it by a lot. But you've got to remember that crucial 1.81 second margin back to Alice Robinson from the first run, where the Austrian might look to charge and put a bit of pressure on the home hero. Waldau was the only Austrian starter this morning. She's looking to put her country top of the pile in Queenstown. Just for reference, 1:52.09, the combined total time of Speedy to get the better of. Keep your eye on that bottom right-hand corner of your screen for the 24-year-old coming through. She was third in the National Championship Slalom. She leads here and leads by 5.2 seconds. Goodness me. Way to put a bit of the pressure on Alice Robinson. Got to remember the high caliber racer that Robinson is, and the lead that she carries over at 1.81 seconds from the dominant first run performance this morning. Robinson on her way in pursuit of a 3rd consecutive New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom win. She took one last year ahead of Ertl. She took one just on Wednesday ahead of Overland, and here she comes into picture. Watch the way those skis run so beautifully. The shift from edge to edge, perfect angle. She's one of the very best in the business. She isn't quite the queen of giant slalom, but she's certainly next in line for the throne. Alice Robinson, with all of that first run lead, looking to expand on it. 1:46.89, the time to beat for another New Zealand Cup win. 1:44.16, the winning time, and by 2.73 seconds. The future queen of giant slalom is the queen of Queenstown. She takes another seat on the home throne. Robinson wins ahead of Waldorf, who comes through. Speedy did gain those 2 places from the first run, with Fullerton skiing 7/10 slower and Romy Ertl skiing out. So New Zealand do take a couple of podiums at home. Big moment for the 16-year-old Alaska Speedy. Fullerton is there. Lede of France with another top 5 result. Watterson makes it 4 New Zealanders in the top 7. Roberts is there. Great to see Luvagi in the top 10 for Team Belgium. Australia in the mix as well with Lara Kelly. Mackenzie 11th. And Lee of Chinese Taipei ends the day 12th. The 2 DNFs, Ertl and Pratt. Chloe Pratt, that is. But another display of dominance and conviction from Alice Robinson on home snow. She'll look to do the triple threat in the New Zealand Cup GSs by coming 24 hours' time. And don't forget, she took the National Championship GS title on Tuesday by winning by nearly 5 seconds. Second run-wise, that's how it stands. Robinson, 0.92 faster than Waldorf, and Speedy moved up there ahead of Lede and Fullerton. And it is great to see a country like New Zealand competing at the very highest level on the very highest stage. And they have got a global champion in. Might well be the year for Robinson, with a World Cup GS title, potential Olympic gold on her sights, on the checklist. Let's see what she can do with Tim Caff and Niels Kohlberger in this incredible team. The mentality of the All Blacks. And fantastic win again for Robinson at home. The way she skied that, it never really was in doubt. Fantastic performance. We have, of course, still got the second run of the men's New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom to come as we reflect on Robinson's victory. Well, let's just keep track of that time. 1:44.16 seconds. Let's see how many of the men in the second run a little later actually do, just how fast and just how fantastic she is. The 4-time World Cup winner, looking to do what no Kiwi has ever done. And Elise Kohlberger, Niels' sister, was an Olympic medalist in slalom. A World Championship medalist, my apologies. Robinson got the silver in Saalbach in February, only beaten by Brignoni. Ran the Italian Queen very close for the giant slalom crown, but faltered at the final attempt when she did carry the advantage into the World Cup finals in Idaho. We'll have to see, with Brignoni injured for the... She in fact injured a national championship race where Robinson has had tremendous success this week already, and she'll look to complete a tremendous 4 wins in 4 races. Not that they've been tight races by any stretch of the imagination as well. That's another thing to factor in. She'll go again in the New Zealand Cup final giant slalom tomorrow. On Wednesday, she won by just over 3 seconds. Today, Alice Robinson wins by just under 2.73. I'll be back with you very shortly, but for now, enjoy these pictures of the hurdle as the course is cleared up and ready and prepared for the men's second run. I'll ski you in just a moment to run you through the start list for this second run. In fact, no, we don't need to go anywhere. The team have got onto it very quickly. Thank you very much, guys. And here it is. Start things off in this second run for the New Zealand team. Norway with a couple of names going early here. Barkanis doing well from bib 44 to get himself into this second run, as it is for Austrian Lucas Meyer from bib 47. And a couple of New Zealanders back-to-back in the starts. Another one skiing from outside the 13 to, 26th position this morning. Danielson, second Norwegian in run 2. First of these Swiss in run 2 will be Aragoni. Then Welch and Palmquist, both of America. Magnus Brevik will be up next for Norway. Then Florian Fassler only managed 20th position in the first run from Switzerland, despite starting quite early with 9. And the same goes for Hugh McAdam, equal 18th from the first run with Austria's Lucas Gasser. He will go 13th in run 2. Then Yohi Koyama, bib 28, skied into 17th this morning. Uri of Hungary, Shin of Korea, youngest of the Jampa brothers, Teo, finished 14th this morning as the Jampa brothers all look to ski into the top 15 for the third race in a row this week in the GS. Gval of Norway is there, Meisel for Austria. Then we've got 3 Americans in a row. Nelson, the only one actually training with the Stiefel US team at the minute, but Santa Croce and Steffi flying the American flag, ski for Team Global Racing. Suki, looking at the time gaps for him for 8th, maybe just a little bit too much to ask. And so for William Saint-Germain of Canada, also with Team Global Racing, with over a second to make up on the first run leaders. And here are those for first run. Solberg, best of the Norwegians this morning. There's a couple in there for Team Global Racing. Andrei Jurkarov, 5th fastest this morning. He's just got half a second to make up on the first run leader. Adam Jampa will ski from 4th in the first run. Christian Borgneisch, best of the global athletes, 3rd this morning. Just 0.19 off the pace. Just 700 slower than Andreas Jampa this morning was Japan's Seigo Kato. He won on Wednesday in the New Zealand Cup event. And he is looking to find that 0.07 of a second to do the New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom double. That extra race that was added in, rescheduled from the cancellation in Mount Hope. Of course, we will give everybody an opportunity to ski in the second run, not just in World Cup events. And our first forerunner is now on course. That is excellent news that Jack Craddock of New Zealand is on his way. Just whilst we check out this course, Hugh Brooks, Team USA. Make sure these forerunners come through safely. We'll just remind you that Christian Borgneisch leads the New Zealand Cup overall giant slalom standings, just ahead of Louis Moulin-Schulte, who's out of action today for Australia. But Kato does lie 3rd and in the standings. He's in 2nd position from the first run and could well move up into 2nd. Just needs to claim 10 points today as our first forerunner, Jack Craddock, comes into the finish safely. That's great news. Then Andreas Jampa is 4th. Adam Jampa is 5th. Suki also of Japan. And then Teo Jampa sits 7th. So that's the top 7, by the way, of the overall Giant Slalom New Zealand Cup standings coming into this race, as we see our second forerunner, Trevor Palmquist, come into picture. The 16-year-old American from Team Summit, Colorado. 2 older brothers were racing this morning. Cam skiing out from bib 35, and his other older brother, Yevin, from bib 42, skiing into 22nd position. So he'll be one of the first group to go in run 2. As the picture's cleared up and the sun is shining again, Trevor Palmquist, forerunner B. And our final forerunner is, of course, the very well-established World Cupper River Radamus, who decided not to race these New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom races, but might be using it as match practice for the New Zealand Cup Slaloms, which are going to come Monday and Tuesday. And if you were expecting to have had a Giant Slalom race yesterday, you were correct. That was the original schedule. It's been shaken around a little bit. Conditions were terrible yesterday. In fact, Coronet Peak was shut completely. If you're out of resort, may not have been aware of that. But let's see, River Radamus, home and dry. The Giant Slalom specialist, also a very well-established Super G skier on the World Cup Tour. Has hit the slalom points in the past too. So yeah, he should be racing in the New Zealand Cup Slaloms as far as I'm concerned on Monday and Tuesday morning in New Zealand. That will come. So 30th position for the first run. Jesse Mutton is now in gate for New Zealand. In start. So I am Matt Garker, your second run race commentator. Jesse Mutton on his way to get the ball rolling here. New Zealand Cup second run in the Giant Slalom competition coming to you live. It is my pleasure to have your company this Saturday afternoon as Mutton flies into picture. What a ski it was this morning. From bib 51 to finish up in 30th position. Excellent stuff from the 19-year-old from Wanaka. He was 5.3 seconds slower than Andreas Jampa this morning. And 1600ths of a second slower than our next man on his way, Barkinus, who's pushed out the start gate. So Jesse Mutton sets the time to beat 1:48.76. The combined total time that the New Zealander has Harvard Calendar Barkinus, 17-year-old, 35th for his career start. He's hit the top 13.22 of those races, a tremendous record indeed. And Barkinus has gone out. Oh dear. So that's our first DNF of the second run. And let's jump back to the top of the hurdle. Lucas Meyer qualifying from bib 47 into 28th position this morning. 0.23 faster than Mutton in the process. He was inside the top 30 in the New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom from Mount Hutt. A little bit of a lift. One of the skis raised up there by Lucas Meyer. 1:48.76, the combined total time to beat. Lucas Meyer has missed by 0.27 of a second. Provisional second for the Austrian as Mutton holds his lead for now. Next up, Calder Bain, another New Zealander. 0.26 of a second faster than his compatriot this morning. And this is a great run, isn't it? Bib 51 from Mutton is going to be no worse than 28th as Bain works his way through. 148.76. Still the time to beat. Here comes Calder Bain, who's missed it too. By 0.23 of a second, Bain has just skied into provisional second. Now let's turn our attention to Sam Woods. He was on the unluckier side of things on Wednesday in the opening ANCGS with a 31st place finish. Woods hits the tuck, looking to put New Zealand 1, 2, and 3 here. In fact, Sam Woods has got it. He's got Jesse Mutton's time by half a second. As we speak, Kiwis on for the clean sweep is going to change. Very likely to change. This is Didrik Hegelund Danielson. He was 9/10 faster than the new leader Sam Woods this morning. Bib 26, 25th position. "18-year-old has DNF'd. That's why our cameras have gone straight back to Luke Nicholas Aragoni of Switzerland. 20-year-old out of the Lenzerheide Varbella region. 8 DNFs in the 9 races he's participated in faster than Sam Woods, our current leader this morning. 1:40.26, the new target time, which Aragoni beats, and beats by a second and a half. That is brilliant. And it could be tough for Charles Welch to better. It was only 0.16 than Aragoni this morning. Just lost our picture for a moment there, but we've caught up now. The second camera and the third one operating just a bit better than the first, so our apologies if the pictures are slightly delayed. But let's see Charles Welch, bib 37. Has he got enough for the lead? Ooh, no, second. Oh, he's only missed it by 14 hundredths. Now let's go to Yevin Palmquist, 22nd in the first run this morning. 0.32 of a second faster than Aragoni. At a Team Summit, Colorado. 15th in the National Championship GS. DNF in the first run of the New Zealand Cup event. Palmquist is in the finish into third position. 0.18 off the pace. Only good enough for third provisionally. This is now Magnus Breivik of Norway. Just over half a second quicker than Aragoni in the first run. Breivik, second run DNF in his first race from New Zealand this winter. New Zealand Cup GS, Magnus Breivik, new leader. Oh, yes, and a new leader by 9.5 tenths of a second. Excellent. Let's come to the top 20 from the first run this morning. This is Switzerland's Florian Faessler. Aragoni currently sits second for Switzerland. Faessler looking to make it 2 on the podium provisionally. Out of Elm. 10th on Wednesday, 12th on Tuesday. Oh, it's second. There are 2 Swiss on the podium, but Faessler is second, and Aragoni's just been knocked to third. Magnus Breivik still out in front for Norway. This is Hugh McAdam of Australia. 25-year-old, equal 18th in the first run this morning on the Rossignol skis. Started 7 World Cups last season. They were all in slalom competition, though. 1:45.8, the time to beat. Hugh McAdam has got there. 4 tenths faster than Breivik, and the Australians are out in front in Queenstown. It's Gasser now. Tied with Hugh McAdam this morning. Gasser on his first camp with his new team. That is Team Global Racing. On the Fisher skis. Tuesday, 16th on Wednesday. Lucas Gasser is out in front by 0.64 of a second. Hugh McAdam denied any major time in the leader's position. Now Yohi Kayama, quarter of a second faster than our new leader Gasser this morning. The 27-year-old for Japan. Third in the National Championship Slalom on Monday was a great start to proceedings in Coronet Peak and a DNF for Koyama. That's a real shame. We're absolutely flying through the second run. 16th from the first run, though. Balint Uri of Hungary, 21-year-old, looking to get himself back towards that top 10 in this second run after only managing 24th on Wednesday in the New Zealand Cup opener from Coronet. Uri looking smooth, looking strong, holding that tuck and bouncing through the gates beautifully. 144.76, which is missed. 0.38 off the pace. Provisional second for Uri. And Jeongwoo Shin of Korea has now just pushed out 0.44 of a second quicker than Lucas Gasser, our current leader from Team Global Racing. This would be a massive positive for Gasser, and I'm sure Paul Epsch and creator, owner of Team Global Racing will be so proud. Let's see if Shin can deny Global a big win today. 25-year-old went to the World Championships in February. 17th in Mount Hutt. He's... Oh, goodness me. Shin got some airtime and was sent spinning, facing the wrong way through the air there. Oh, dear me. Confirm that Theo Jampa has set off. He was 9/10 faster than Gasser in the first run. He's into picture, flying through the top turns on the hurdle as our first Slovakian and our first Jampa brother looks to take the initiative in this second run. Theo has got some real strengths about him. The 22-year-old has got a bright, bright future ahead. 36th in the 2023 World Championships. The time to beat here is 144.76. Can Theo Jampa take? Yes, he can. 0.77 of a second faster. New target time set at 143.99 by Theo Jampa as we move to Elias Hartford Kvial. 13th from the first run, the 18-year-old is looking to put Norway back on top of proceedings here. A new Slovakian leader, Theo Jampa, this morning. Kval running well. 4th and 6th in Mount Hutt in the slaloms for the national championships there. 25th in the GS standing for New Zealand so far. Second position provisionally. 0.46 off Theo Jampa's pace. And we will just get a minor hold. Bib 12 Christoph Meisel being kept in the start gate for now as one of our gates is repaired. So just to run you through, as it stands with the top 12 Jampa leads for Slovakia, 0.46 of a second ahead of Kval of Norway, just skied into second, and Lucas Gasser for Austria, and for Team Global, 0.77 off Jampa's pace, lies in third position. We'll be back underway with Meisel on our next start interval split. So, not too long to wait until the resumption of this one at all. Thank you very much for your company this Saturday afternoon. What a fun time to be racing. Highly anticipated. Strong second run start fields here. Meisel on his way. 700ths faster than Theo Jampa. These margins will start to open up as each racer misses Jampa's lead. If they miss Jampa's lead, let's see what Meisel's got. He's coming fast and hard through the middle part of the course, but has he gone too hard? Mistake coming off the latest roller there, didn't he? And this could be a nail-biting climax. It was only 700ths lead that Meisel carried over Jampa. And it could be even closer. 143.99. The new time to beat. Christoph Meisel takes the lead. 0.38 of a second. The margin of it. Another change at the top of the table in Coronet Peak. And here comes Isaiah Nelson, who got the win in Tuesday's National Championship Giant Slalom competition. 400th faster than our new Austrian leader, Meisel. The 24-year-old, a first-run DNF on Wednesday, looking to put that right. Only managed 11th position in the first run. We have got a hold at the top, but let's see. 1:43.61, what Nelson's aiming for here. Isaiah Nelson, top of the table, and top of it by 0.95 to ski. Isaiah Nelson opens up a big advantage, a big lead. 10 to go in Coronet Peak. Course clear. We'll resume very shortly with Francesco Santacroce. Italian and American heritage, skis for the USA, now training with Team Global Racing. They've got plenty of chances in this top 10. The next two, in fact, Santacroce and then Steffi, both Americans. Racing for Global. Then they've got Jurkarov in 5th, Borgness in 3rd. Huge prospects for bigs today for the independent teams. So Santacroce, bib 32 on his way. Superbly skied into 10th position this morning. The 24-year-old. Second run DNF on Wednesday. Looks to put that behind and progress. But he knows that the time that his compatriot Isaiah Nelson has put down could be tough to beat. 0.29, the advantage he carries over our new leader. And Santacroce is all over the place. The wind has started to pick up. You can see that powder. Santacroce. This is where he can pick up some speed. Use those speed skills. Oh, goodness me. Lifted through the air there. Somehow he stayed in the course. 1:42.66, the new time to beat, which Santacroce is going to miss. And he's missed by 0.99 with the mistakes. He's into provisional 3rd position. And America's next chance, already on his way, is George Steffi. Has suffered back problems. Didn't race a single race last season, but is now back and looking good. 9th position on Wednesday in the opening New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom. To reaction, it was great to see George back in the mix. 28-year-old out of Stratton Mountain on the Volcal skis, looking to push his teammate Nelson out of it. Is he there at second? 0.21 off the pace. Runner-up position for George Steffi. As our attention turns back to Japan, Hayato Wakatsuki on his way. 0.53 of a second faster than Nelson for the man who finished the first run in 8th position this morning. Wakatsuki started 15 World Cup races now, all in giant slalom competition. On the Solomon skis, 11th position on Wednesday. I don't think he was particularly happy with that. He sits 6th in the New Zealand Cup GS standings for this summer, and Wakatsuki has just skied into 2nd. 0.12 off the pace. Another one bites the dust of Isaiah Nelson's lead. Now we go to Canada, and William Saint-Germain. Is another Team Global Racing athlete going to bite the dust here? Maybe. It's going to be another day for Nelson in Queenstown. Who knows? 0.76 Saint-Germain's first run lead over our current leader. It's a good ski from bib 20 to get himself into 7th. 32-year-old from Quebec, looking to reignite his ski racing career now. William Saint-Germain is there. 0.46. The lead for Canada over America with 6 to ski in Coronet Peak. This is hotting up in Queenstown. And Solberg has skied out. To add to the drama, the Norwegian has DNF'd. Well, he said, I want to bring my A game. Not too worried about whether I do DNF. I'm just going to push very hard with a particular focus on the slalom for Solberg, but he has skied out here. We're pinned away with Andrei Jurkarov. Here's another chance for Global to Queenstown. Jurkarov flies into picture now. The Lithuanian had 0.43 on his Global teammate from this morning. 23rd, his World Cup personal best from a couple of seasons ago in Alta Badia, Italy. 4th on Wednesday, missed the podium by just 11 hundredths, and 5th position for Jurkarov in the first run. 1:42.2 seconds, the new time to beat. Jurkarov into the tuck, coming in towards the finish, has got the lead, and has got it by 4 hundredths ahead of Saint-Germain. Oh, it's close in there. Goodness me. Adam Jampa on his way. Love Coronet Peak. They love the New Zealand Cup. But could they deliver a double podium here today? 1/4 of a second for Adam over Andrei Jurkarov, the new leader. 4th position this morning for the 34-year-old World Championship team event silver medalist with his brother in 2017. 1:42.16, the new target time. Adam Jampa has missed it. Oh, down in 6th, nearly a second off the pace as we go to the top 3 from this morning, starting with Christian Borgnice. He leads the New Zealand Cup GS standings for the season and looks to soar Denmark to the top of the table. Borgnice and Jurkarov at the top of things at the moment, flying the flag for the small nations and flying the flag for Team Global Racing. Christian Borgnice can confirm himself another New Zealand Cup podium this winter. Here, if he comes through to lead, Christian Borgnice, top position. 0.47 of a second. Denmark lead the way. Already coming is Seigo Kato of Japan. He won the opening New Zealand Cup GS here on Wednesday. The way things stand, Borgnice is holding on to his lead, but Kato can close in on second position here and tighten things up ahead of tomorrow's new giant slalom decider. 12 hundredths he had over Borgnice from this morning. 1:41.69 for the lead for Seigo Kato for Japan. Second position. 4 hundredths off the pace. Oh, goodness me. And now only Andreas Jampa can deny Christian Borgnice a 3rd New Zealand Cup GS win of the season. 0.19 of a for the 32-year-old Slovak over Borgnice from this morning. This is going to be almighty close. Nail-biting climax expected. 1:41.69 the time for Andreas Jampa. He's won here 10 years ago and 2 years ago. He loves New Zealand. Oh, it's 3rd. And Christian Borgnice wins it. Denmark win it. In a tight old race. Borgnice and Andreas Jampa swapping positions from the first run. Goodness me. What a great race. And we'll have a moment to digest it in just a moment. Hemi Michael on course, 31st this morning. 19-year-old. Can ski himself well into the top 30 here. He was just over 5 seconds behind Andreas this morning, and Hemi Michael 8.5 seconds off the pace, 26th position, and we will now have a minor gate repair. So just to absorb that, Christian Borgnice by 4 hundredths of a second wins for the 3rd time in New Zealand this winter, in the 3rd different resort. Wow. Won in Mount Hutt, and the first GS in Thredbo, Australia. to extend that lead at the top of the table. He's up to 420 points for this winter. With the 80 that Kato will pick up, he's on 310. 110 points the lead means that Christian Nice will be the 2025 New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom champion. Now the question is, can he carry that form to the World Cup Tour, which gets underway in less than 50 days now? That top six isn't going to change. Jerkarov has to settle for fourth behind Andreas Jampa for a second Coronet Peak New Zealand Cup GS in a row, a little bit further away at 1900ths today. And William Saint-Germain, great ski from the Canadian, moved up a couple of places in this second run, from bib 20 second off the win, and Isaiah Nelson from 11th in the first run skis into the top six. Superb. We have got 7 more athletes to conclude this second run. They all deserve the chance. They've come through to the finish. Couldn't agree more with that decision. So the next man down the hurdle will be Jocelyn Mobayed of Germany. Borgness, who took third in the New Zealand Cup Coronet Peak Open. And with the 100 points he will collect for the win, that moves him to 420 in the overall charge. And it means that Seigo Kato will seize the lead as the overall champion with the 80 points he's picked up. He will move 35 points. Very interesting stuff. Kato will race slalom, so he's still got 3 races to score. Borgness has just got the 1 with tomorrow, depending. He might go in the slaloms, actually. Borgness. I've seen him do slalom before. So Jocelyn Mobayed is on his way as we head to our final 8 races in this thrilling New Zealand Cup competition. Mobayed came with bib 30. Only managed 32nd position this morning. Only a 10th of his career start for the 16-year-old German, who has been impressive. I gave him the big build-up in the first run this morning and unfortunately didn't quite deliver the way I thought he might. 5.68 seconds off the leader. He'll just be looking to get himself into the top 30, cement his position in the top 30 on the start list, and hopefully gets himself somewhere in that range of starters for tomorrow's race. Jocelyn Mobayed is home, 27th for him. Just 1,500 slower than Michael, who skied into 26th just before. Now Hugo Saunders on his way. Now the margins start to open up between leader and athlete on course. This is 32nd Saunders. 18-year-old New Zealander. And he's home and dry, 28th position. Let's see if that is enough to keep him in the top 30 come the end of proceedings here. Kerem Haimana, great to see the Turk back in action. A 99th of his career start for the 21-year-old today. He could well make his 100th of his career start tomorrow in our 3rd New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom from Coronet Peak. It'd be great to see. 43rd in Wednesday's A&C GS, and Hayama into 29th, 12.71 behind Borgness. Keswick McGill now, the Canadian, 17-year-old from Ontario. One of 2 Canadians here today. William Saint-Germain, the other one, has finished the day in 5th. Just 0.51 off the win. Great result. So Keswick McGill, 29th position. Good ski. In ahead of Haimar, moves up at least one place there. Could keep himself in the top 30. Oscar Chesterman, 36th from the first run, 15-year-old. Representing the Queenstown Alpine Ski Team here. 10th FIS career start. 24th on Tuesday in the National Championship Giant Slalom competition held on this piece. And Chesterman getting used to this level of competition now as he goes into 31st. He might be the unlucky man today. 14.8 seconds back. Now to Belgium. You'll camera. It was Louise Louvagi flying the flag for Belgium in the women's competition. She finished the day 9th. Let's see if the 18-year-old in this race can get himself maybe in that top 30. Oh, 31st. 14.69 seconds off the pace. A little bit of a way behind Haimana in 30th. Can run. And our final racer, which will be Roman Orlovsky, is just being momentarily held in the start gate whilst everything is checked out for the final racer of the day to get proceedings done before 1:45 local time. Orlovsky's the youngest Kiwi on the national team this season, and he is now on his way, pushing out of the start gate. Another Queenstown Alpine Ski Team. He was just about inside 12 seconds of Borgnice's first run time, so it would take a pretty exceptional first run to get him ahead of Haimana into that 30th spot. There'll be 33 finishes in total if Orlovsky just does come through. And just to say thank you very much for your company throughout this Saturday morning and into the afternoon. It's been my pleasure to cover these New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom races. I think I'll be more than happy to do it all again tomorrow if you'd be happy to join me as Orlovsky hits the finish. 18.85 seconds behind Borgnice. And that confirms it. Denmark have the win. Japan and Kato, another podium. Andreas Jampa, the third place finish once again. Yet another New Zealand Cup podium for the Slovakian brothers and for Andreas. 0.28 off the pace. Andrei Jurkarov settles for fourth. Jurkarov fourth. Saint-Germain fifth. A great day for the Canadian team. Also within a second, moving up in that second run was Isaiah Nelson of the USA. Then Wakatsuki, Steffi improving on Wednesday's result. Adam Jampa just unable to back up the first run form and bring it to the in 10th. Santa Cruz with a decent ski as well. And Teo Jampa, meaning that all three of the Slovakian brothers finish the days in the top 12. That's 3 out of 3 for them in Coronet Peak. As I say, it's been my pleasure to cover this race. Absolutely entertainment to keep ski racing ticking over throughout the European summer. And I've loved having your company. I hope that we will ski you again tomorrow for another day of New Zealand Cup Giant Slalom action. And I'd just like to say one final word. Scenes at Quast for putting an excellent show on and arranging the graphics and the camera angles. And of course, the team on the ground, setting the courses, all the coaches, all the athletes, and without question, the course workers, control operators, technical delegates, race referees, chief of race. A huge thank you to everybody. So thank you very much for your company. Enjoy Saturday, whether it be the middle of the night or early afternoon. I've been Matt Garker. This has been the New Zealand Cup from Coronet Peak, Queenstown, New Zealand. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will ski you very soon. All the best.